Hello to you out there, Christel Bell with the Let ABC15 Know team. Glad you're with us today. We're having an important conversation because today we're having this conversation in honor of Senior Fraud Awareness Day, which is actually May 15th. This day is actually dedicated to educating the public on preventing financial scams that target older people. So, very important discussion today. I wanted to bring in my newfound friend. So glad that she's with us today, Joyce Piotrowski. She's with Rose Advocacy. This is a
Yes.
nonprofit that is based here in the state of Arizona, that is actually dedicated to helping protect older adults and their loved ones from financial scams and cybercrime. So, Rose Advocacy is such a great organization. We've done stories with them in the
Yes.
past. Joyce, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. First, just kind of give folks a little bit more about actually what Rose stands for
Okay.
and more about the nonprofit organization and
Sure.
basically why you founded this.
Okay. All right. Well, ROSE stands for Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly. And I founded this organization back in August of 2021. In that spring, I had learned of a loved one who fell victim to a romance scam. She was grieving the loss of her husband, and so she was a prime target for these romance scams, and didn't lose all of her money, but lost some of it, enough to where she needed some help, and so started doing a lot of research. And there's a lot of great organizations that help once you become a victim, but we took the approach of our program is going to be preventing this from happening right at the source. And so it's the education and the awareness, because you're taking the senior population, and I'm in that category,
Yeah,
to how we grew up and all these kind-hearted habits that were instilled in us that we're
right.
bringing into this technology-rich world today, and it's a perfect storm for
Yeah.
scammers.
You talked about that proactive approach, preventing it.
hmm
Tell us, what are some of the things that you're doing to help have that conversation and foster this culture of talking about scams, financial fraud, cybercrime?
So our main program is our fraud awareness and protection program, where we go out in person.
Okay.
So we go to a lot of senior centers, 55 plus communities, independent livings, really wherever we can get a group of this older adults
Okay.
together. And our full program goes through a wide variety of information and lasts anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay.
It's normally closer to 2 hours because people have so many questions. And we've tailored our program through the eyes of the older adults.
Are you always surprised by the number of questions that you receive?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and the type of questions you're hearing.
Absolutely. I learned so much
Yeah.
doing these presentations. So,
Mhm.
on the radio show that I did on Tuesday, a lady that made a comment, and she said, I heard that the
Mhm.
criminals can bypass the gel ink
Mhm.
on the checks now. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I had not heard of that, but
Wow.
thank you. And
Yeah.
so I did a little bit of research, and I found this article that talked about a test that was done on three different types of gel ink pens. One
Oh.
being the one that we use, the Uniball 207,
Yes.
and then two other ones. I don't remember the name. They used two different solutions. One of the pens failed both solutions. The other pen failed one of the solutions, and the Uniball 207 passed
Mm.
both. And so I was like, yes, it's
Yeah.
another, it's just a reinforcement that,
For me, we constantly hear we're getting the Let ABC 15 Know team. We hear about scams all the time. We're constantly
Mhm.
researching. How do you stay on top of stuff because things are evolving so quickly
They
now?
do. It seems like every hour there's something new out
Yeah.
there, right?
Mhm.
Well, we have a lot of supporters, whether it's via social media, newsletters, the presentations,
Mhm.
and we'll get calls
Okay.
and they'll talk to us about it, or we'll get an email, have you heard about this?
Mhm.
Or, we don't get too many text messages, but it's usually emails or phone calls or
Mhm.
hearing about it during the presentations. And, some lady told me recently that a lot of the cell phone companies are not doing SIM cards anymore, actual
Yes.
physical SIM cards. They're going to electronic ones. And I'm like, I'm going to do some more research on that.
Yes.
I don't, right off the top of my head, I don't think it prevents the SIM swap scam.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
so
it's
funny
more
we
of an
talk about
internal
that.
thing.
Yeah. It's so funny you talk about that because I just got an email about that as well and started doing research trying to figure out this scam because we had a viewer who said the same thing about how her phone was swapped, her account was swapped, and such
Absolutely.
that's such a real thing. And so just kind of doing research kind of to help her.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about numbers for a second
Sure.
because when we talk about this, it's like nationwide seniors over $7.7 billion
Yeah.
lost to fraud in
Absolutely.
2025.
Yeah. It's devastating. The numbers keep jumping.
7.7.
7
That's a
billion.
60% increase from what it was last
Absolutely.
in 2024.
Yes.
Staggering. And you were telling me the numbers for the state of Arizona doubled,
Almost doubled, yes.
almost
So
doubled.
in 2024, the 60 plus population, and we take our statistics
Yeah.
from the FBI, and that's, I think, where you got yours, was 191 million that reported that they were a victim and lost money. And in 2025, 343 million. And I equate a huge increase to two different things. I think because we've been out there for over 3 years talking to people, and part of what we talk about is it's good to report.
Yeah.
It gives law enforcement more
Yes.
information, more pieces to the puzzle. You're not the only one, but maybe your experience is a little different. Maybe, you have some detail that the law
This
enforcement
one,
didn't
that's
have,
true.
right? So, and it's always good to report. And so I think more are reporting, but
Yes.
I think a bigger part of it is artificial intelligence
Yes.
because it's making it so much more difficult to know what is real and
And
what
what
is
is not.
not.
It is true. It's so funny because that is the key. One thing with my reporting when we talk about these scams is I always try to push you have to report this. You have to tell because for detectives who are investigating these crimes, in talking with cybercrime detectives here in our state, it's almost kind of like they're putting together pieces. And so
Absolutely. It's a puzzle.
it's a puzzle. And so they're kind of making these connections because they may get one report that says one thing and then they get another report that says something else.
Right.
And so they are able to make these connections and figure out, maybe this is the same crime network or crime ring,
Absolutely.
same person. So I always stress to folks, yeah, you may feel like they can't do anything, but still report it.
It's valuable
It's
information.
valuable information. So that's great. Um, I just wanted to also kind of, talk a little bit about this whole thing of it feels like taboo because you mentioned that as well. Like people, it's almost kind of like the stigma. People think that it's something that can't happen to them.
Right.
And
Right.
so I feel like pushing these conversations more is
Oh,
so
absolutely.
important.
Absolutely. It's getting it out there that it's not a matter of if you're going to be contacted and if you're going to engage and maybe, fall victim to it. It's a matter of when. You're going to get contacted. And if you're busy, if your mind's on something else, you might look at it, and especially if it deals with your financial accounts, you just might be like, "Okay, I got to do this really quick," and not even think, "Okay, this could be a scam. I need to check it out." You're just busy. You maybe running to an appointment or you're taking your kids someplace, just life in general, right? You're busy. And so you don't take the time to stop and think about it and make the determination. You're just like, okay, I can do this in 2 seconds. And then you might not even know that that was a scam, right? Especially if you're on your phone,
Yeah.
right? Now are they inside your phone?
And what you said, that does not matter how old you are.
No,
That's
absolutely.
all of us. That's
Absolutely.
every single person. That's
Yes,
all of us. Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
important. Talking about that too, I want to lead into having the conversation of how can we talk to our loved ones? How can grandkids,
Mhm.
how can we have that conversation? How do we start that conversation to talk to our older adults about scams and fraud?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is I think scams in general, just the word scam and falling victim and all of that stuff has such a negative ring to it because there's financial devastation, psychological, physiological, physical devastation as well. There's a whole realm of things that could go wrong. So just, knowing first of all that they're out there and that everybody's a target. No matter how intelligent you
No matter
are,
what.
how on top of things you think you are,
Yeah.
everybody is a target, right?
Yeah.
Some more so than others, depending on their situation
Yeah.
and all of that. But just so we have a lot of information that we put out on social media
Okay.
and in our newsletters. Like if you're on the email newsletter database, you're going to get a tip every Tuesday morning. And what I tell people is you might already know that tip, but there's another just as important reason that you're getting it is because it's reinforcing scam prevention habits. We all need to see it, hear it, say it
Right.
multiple times on a regular
The basis.
basis and keep here. It's gotten so bad. We need
The
to keep hearing
repetition,
it,
right?
right? So the next time you are contacted, you'll think scam. But then the loved ones, I think one of the most important things is making sure it's non-judgmental
Yeah.
and just and leading with empathy and not coming across like you just know that who your loved one's going to fall victim, so you need to talk to them about this. No, this is important information that everybody needs to know. And you could just follow us on social media, and 5 out of 7 days of the week you're going to get content.
Yeah.
And or if you hear something on the news, you guys report on a scam or maybe talk to somebody who has lost money through a scam,
Yeah.
that's content that you can then use to say, hey, you know what, I heard about this, I've never heard about this before, and I started doing some research on it, and I found this information, and I had no idea I needed to secure my phone like it's a computer, because when I think
There
about
you
it, it
go.
really is a computer,
Yeah.
right? It's not, it's a mobile computer, not a mobile phone. And just in regular conversation, right? And then that leads to, is your phone secured?
Right.
I'm going
Right.
to get on my subscription that I have for my computer, my antivirus subscription, and I'm going to see if I have another device,
And there you
and
go.
exactly,
Yeah.
right?
And
And you just
then you start the
you start
conversation.
the
Yeah.
conversation, and it
Yeah.
becomes non-threatening, non-defensive. And if you keep those conversations on a regular basis, if something were to happen with your loved one, they are going to be more apt to want to talk to you about it. Or
Yeah.
if they get contacted, they're going to be more apt to call you and say, or forward you the email. Is
Check
this
this out. Yeah.
legitimate?
Look this.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Look
their
this
way to
over.
verify. I want a second set of eyes to look at this, or I want to talk to
Yeah.
you because I trust you about the situation.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
help them navigate that and stay safe
I
and preserve their legacy.
I absolutely love that. That's great. That's a great way to get that conversation going
Right.
and talking about it, and not like, again, having them feel like they're being attacked, or you think that I'm incompetent, that I wouldn't find,
Exactly. Right.
wouldn't be able to spot a scam, right? Because we know that that happens, right? So that's great. You, but then I have to play this part too,
Okay.
because what do you say to the older people who won't listen? Because we have seen that too, who won't really receive, and oh, I've got this, you know, and then later comes around the embarrassment because it's like I should have listened, because we've seen that too.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
That's, that's tough,
Yeah,
right? Because you definitely do not want to go into it with I told you so,
exactly.
right?
Right. It's
You
going back to
lead,
that empathy.
yeah, you lead with empathy, and you just help them navigate through their situation and find the resources. First of all, have they reported it? Second, if it has anything to do with their financial accounts, you need to lock that down with the bank, with any other financial account, and so you can mitigate the damages and stuff like that. So helping them recover from it, letting them know that, they're not the only one. And scams don't work on intelligence. It's all emotionally based. And so it's the scammers exploiting your emotions and getting them to understand that, and if they just think about everybody that lives on their street, probably half of them, if not
Right.
more, have have,
Yeah.
fallen into a scam.
So talk a little bit about, what have you been seeing? You've been going out, you do these presentations. What are some of the most latest scams that you've been seeing?
Um, I think a lot of it that people talk to me about at these presentations is getting the phone calls, and it actually sounds like whoever it is, a
Yeah.
familiar voice, and that's the artificial intelligence, right? Um, but another one that somebody recently told me was they left a voicemail,
Mm-hmm.
and it was forget which company, right, that they were purporting to be from, but it was a very professionally sounding voicemail like you would normally get
Yes.
from a company that would make you want to believe that, yes, this
This
is the
is a real
company, right? Because
company.
you don't know what the voice is going to sound like, but it
Hmm.
sounds professional, polished,
Yes.
right? And it's just with that voice recognition, they can change the voice,
Voice.
and they can use the generative text artificial intelligence to create that script
Good.
that they want
Uh-huh.
that voice to
That's
say,
right.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it is around the artificial intelligence, but there's a lot of them that Publishers Clearinghouse
Oh
was one that
gosh, yeah.
someone told me about recently, that a friend of theirs,
Yeah,
and
we've done stories about that.
kept paying and paying and paying because they thought they were going to get the prize, and
Yeah.
I don't know the end result of that one,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and then the text messages for the traffic violations,
Oh
the
yes,
tolls,
we did that
those
story
were
too. Yeah.
going around for the longest time, and then they
Yeah.
seem to sort of have waned. You
Yep.
didn't really get them that much,
And then they
and
pick
now
back
they're
up.
popping back
Back
up
up.
again, and
They're popping back up.
that's a way to keep you on your toes,
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, well, I haven't gotten those in 6 months or a
Yeah.
year, right? Oh, they
Mm-hmm.
must be on to something else.
Yeah, and they changed too.
They
They
do.
evolved because when we first started seeing them, it was literally just a text.
Hmm.
Now we saw like this graphic image
Hmm.
that had a seal that made it look official,
Right.
but the seal actually wasn't the state of Arizona seal. So, I remember we went through depicting all of the typos and errors in that
Yeah.
that text message. But it started popping up, and then, like you said, it kind of just weaned off, and then it started back again.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Somebody had sent me a text message they received, and it had a link.
Hmm.
And the link was all spelled out, right? It didn't just have like the name and then it was a live link that they could. So it said HTTPS, and then
Mm.
you know how there's a colon and
Yeah.
then two forward
Uh-huh.
slashes?
Yeah.
The colon was missing,
Ah,
but
see,
everything
else
else
was there.
was there.
Mhm.
But that's not a valid.
Mhm.
But it obviously linked to a malicious
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
But would your naked eye see that the colon was missing, because you already know what the beginning of that URL is supposed to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. It's kind of like we had a viewer that thought that she was part of the Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Oh, okay.
And the website was that. But when we went in and I was trying to verify and help her decipher, like, this
Mm-hmm.
is not real, the home, the E on the home was there, but it was only one E. It should have been EE in the website, in the title,
Mm-hmm.
but it was only one E. It was home, should have had an E, edition should have had an E, but it was only one E in between those. So I told her, she's like, I never would have saw that. I never would have thought of that.
Right.
And I was like, that's how you know.
Well, that's why
It's
we
just you just got to take your time,
right
pay attention,
pausing,
take
and
it a
we tell
moment.
them whether it's an email address or a URL that you're looking at,
Yeah.
you can read it, but your mind is already thinking, what is it? Amazon, Microsoft? Is it the
Hmm.
Extreme House
And you make over,
makeover? Right.
right?
So you're already thinking that. And so your naked eye is going to read that
Hmm.
because you're already thinking it.
Hmm.
For the most part, it would have to be very blatant
Yeah.
wrong that you
Hmm.
would, see the
See the
right. So
incorrectness.
write every character down
Yeah.
and look at the individual characters to see if they make sense.
Yeah. I know we got to wrap up. Such a good conversation. I want you to just kind of give us, what would you say should be one of your golden rules. I know this is hard to just give one, but maybe golden rules, top three of what everyone should keep in mind when it comes to protecting yourself and making sure you understand: is this scam? Is this fraud? How do I decipher what should I keep in my toolkit?
Okay. Pausing, just taking a step back and pausing
Yeah,
is so good because it can stop you from getting emotional
yeah,
or it can help you not be emotional. Take some deep breaths,
yeah.
right? Get out of that emotional state. But with artificial intelligence and all of this that's going on, you have to verify first. You cannot trust and then verify anymore. That's long gone.
Yeah.
Verify first, whether it's through the official website, it's through the official phone number, it's going to the official companies like your actual bank, it's talking to the actual person, could be a loved one, could be somebody at a company. What you have to verify first before you can even begin to trust. Verify, verify, verify
First,
first.
before you trust.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because you need to have all the information in order to make an educated decision that is this a scam or is this legit?
Yeah. All right. Got that. Verify first,
First.
then trust, not the other way around. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Folks want to get in touch with you. They want to have you come out and talk to their group, make
Absolutely.
a presentation. You also have a podcast. Give folks the
Yes.
information real quick.
So, if you want us to come out and give a presentation, just get on our website, roseadvocacy.org, and we have a schedule your presentation, and it'll tell you all about the ones we have. We have more than just the full program. We've been adding some new ones on there for caregivers, loved ones, for app injections, so all about your apps, and then also for device takeovers. And so you can just give us all the information, and then we'll contact you.
Okay.
You could just shoot me an email on the contact us page as well. The radio show every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So right now it's 8 a.m. Arizona time. It's live, but you can go to our YouTube channel and Rose Advocacy, and you can find all of the past live episodes and all of the shorts. We're on season 2. I think this next Tuesday is episode 13
Okay.
in season 2, and we're going to talk about those gel pens.
All right. That's great. Great. Joyce, I'm always so honored that I get to be in your presence because I just love what you do and how you do it. So thank you
you.
again for being with us, and keep advocating,
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing.
Can I say one more thing about
Go
the
ahead.
website?
Go ahead.
When you're on there and you're looking at the schedule of your presentation, but on the homepage, scroll down to the bottom. You'll see where you can sign up for our newsletters to get this reoccurring information.
Yeah.
We do one in the mail. We do one via email.
Yeah, absolutely. Great again. Great information.
you.
Great resource to have in your back pocket for sure. Joyce, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.